Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we've got another video for ourselves today that's going to be a little bit technical. That's going to be a little bit analytical because it's going to focus on a very, very, very important topic that you got to have the numbers in mind for to actually discuss. And that's going to be something that's making Wuthering waves really, really, really and it's HP inflation. And I have to say this regarding HP inflation. The discourse, the dialogue, the complaints, all of that stuff that we've been saying, apparently it's been heard, ladies and gentlemen. According to some preloads, some leaks, and this is one situation where I'll just talk about the leaks because I think there's only good that can come from discussing these. Apparently, Kuro Games is toning down severely in the next reset of the HP and the TOA. I'm not going to give you particular numbers or anything. It looks like it went down. So the feedback that was delivered, the complaints that were given, the bitching and moaning that we did immediately following this patch and the most recent one, guys, it does look like it worked. However, we need to see just how bad it was so that from where it goes, right? Because there's going to be a from to. There's going to be an afterwards. We need to see how bad it is. We know they're fixing it, but we need to know how bad it is first so that once the fix arrives, we can see whether or not they actually did anything. Because that's the unfortunate part about the gacha space, ladies and gentlemen. Devs out there promise the world. Remember Genshin's artifact loadouts? Remember Genshin saying we don't want to make... They lie. And Kuro Games doesn't do that very often. But their HP inflation, as we're about to show you, over the past 2 resets, has been unprecedented. And so we just want to make sure we're doing our due diligence to know all the facts before we get into the fixes. So let's go ahead. Let's get right on into it. Video's gonna be by Kaiser, my mod. I didn't even know this shit was out there. It's actually getting pretty good views for a channel that only has 500 subs. So yeah, let's go ahead. Let's check it out.
My last video on Wuthering waves.
This guy sounds like a fucking nerd. Just want to let you guys know that.
In regards to the HP inflation in the Tower Diversity was in January, at the beginning of the year. This was when version 3.0 had launched with tunability on top of HP inflation across 2 consecutive resets.
True. Yes. Tune breaks did end up doing more damage overall because it was basically like 60 to 70k extra damage each time you would pop one. And so TOA really didn't feel like it was any worse because you would just pop that damage and it would just feel like it adjusted itself.
Apparently, you could say that the HP inflation and introduction of tunability caused me to quit content creation in the first place.
I don't think it was that bad. I didn't think it was that bad. What? So the HP inflation getting worse is what brought him back. That doesn't make that much sense, but sure, let's keep going. So like it got bad, that's why I quit. It got worse, so that's why I came back.
Hi there, Kaiser here. Reset 36 and Reset 37 of the TOA has brought about some crazy HP inflation.
So you're just going to see over here. The one that I want you to focus on is not 35 to 36 or 36 to 37, but 35 to 37. And what 35 to 37 is telling you is 35 was the reset that kind of did a lot. 37 is the reset that killed everything. And so essentially what we're kind of looking at over here is this. 35 was before it was bad. 15% HP inflation on the left tower. 20% on the right. Hazard 1, 44%. Hazard 2, 15. Hazard 3, 31. Hazard 4, 28. You kind of see what's going on over here? Yeah, no, that's a lot. Because some of them, right, you can see 0% over here, 0% over here, but when you total it all up, nah, it's not looking very good, is it?
Resulting in a 20% or more increase in HP, and as high as 44% increase across 2 resets. Even the side towers have been affected. You've seen...
I don't think the side towers are that bad, though.
The HP numbers already. In fact, this mark...
The side towers got like 15 to 20%, but percentages, remember, scale off of what you're starting with. And the side towers did not have a lot of HP in the first place, so 20% on top of not a lot, think about it this way, like add like 20% to your bank account, it's still 0.
It's the first time that the total HP of Hazard Floor 1 exceeded that of Floor 2. I do want to make myself clear though, even though my skill is probably higher than that of the average player, my thoughts and concerns are reflective of said average player, who knows the fundamentals of parry, dodge counter, and the 1-2-3 outro sequence. Even if my B-roll showcases quick swaps, I don't count such a playstyle to be a requirement to play this game.
is this dude quick swapping on, like... Are you on low graphical settings? This looks like it's low graphical settings.
Kuro does not teach you how to quickswap in this game, and thus it should not be a requirement to clear the endgame. The same goes for people with vertical investment.
Fair point, though. At that point, maybe it's better to use B-roll of just 1, 2, 3 animations then. Like, couldn't you just grab them from, like, any... I think it might be better to just use B-roll of 1, 2, 3 ones then.
Beyond 6-cost S0R1 teams. If you can clear Hazard 4 with your S3 Cartithia solo, amazing, and good for you. But my critiques are again focused on the investments that the great majority of the player base, namely free-to-play players, can relate to.
Alright, so S0R1 or S0R0 for characters if they got good 4 stars. Cool.
Hazard 1 is one such floor that received 44% HP inflation across the 2 resets of 36 and 37.
Yeah, this is currently the worst, like, floor, like, in the game.
At 20% per reset. Crownless, in reset 36, was sort of a pushover, as you were able to bug his spawn sequence so that he spawned like normal bosses. He also has plenty of parryable attacks, and most of all, you can just straight up slap him out of the air when he does a special attack.
I mean, yeah, at a baseline, he's way less of an annoying boss, way more interactable, and most would say Crownless is like the most fair boss in the game. I think most people would say that. Yeah, he feels like the most fair boss in the game.
Lampy Lumen, on the other hand, has to be one of the most annoying fights to come out of the 1.0 release roster.
Oh, there's some very specific things wrong with this fight. I.e., bro, I don't understand why this guy puts down the most insane freeze field in gaming. He puts down a field and then sits there in it. And he's like, yeah, you can't hit me, bitch. You're gonna get frozen, bitch. Use a ranged character, bitch. Oh, wait. Carlotta's Glacio. I'm Glacio. Get fucked, bitch.
In its Glacio Chafe Puddles, moves that can relocate itself from one end of the map to the other, and it...
This move over here is possibly the most cancerous thing I've ever... Bro, this move is bad
puddles, moves that can
because it has no windup. Right here. This move has no windup. Look how fast he does this.
Relocate itself from one end of the map.
I can tell when it's coming now, but dude, this is truly maybe the strongest attack in the game. I can guarantee everyone has gotten their shit pushed in by this. And so this is like a double whammy because you get... This is like one of the hardest staggering attacks in the game. It's like getting hit by a fucking nuke, right? You're like recovering for like 2 or 3 seconds after getting hit by this, right? So first, he's right next to you.
From one
then
end
he staggers you for a fucking century.
To the other.
And then goes over to the other side of the arena. So if you actually get staggered by that attack and you're on the ground, bro, now you gotta spend like 2-3 seconds running to him. Running after him, bro. So he knocks you over, runs across the arena. You gotta get up off your bum ass, then go chase after him, bro. It's so bad. It's so bad.
Unskippable attack sequence, which either requires dodge spamming.
Oh, and there's no windup for this Tomb Break immune attack either. Yes, he'll just do this out of nowhere. No setup, just teleport out of his animation, lock his Tomb Break meter, and then do this for like 8 seconds.
Rotation extension or an air attack team.
So yeah, rotation extensions or air attack teams are 100% what you want here. Luke Herson, for example, turns this guy into his son. But there's not a lot of ranged attack teams right now that can actually handle this well. Unironically, Absolution Mode Phoebe is one of the best characters to use in this fight. But then that means you're playing Absolution Mode Phoebe. She's kind of like a poor woman's Carlotta. Like, if you can't use Carlotta, you try using Absolution Mode Phoebe.
The additions brought about Lahai Roy's roster have their own issues too, in the Sabercat Prowler and the 2 new Krona birds. Both
These guys are kind of annoying.
Gain additional all-attribute resistance until players are able to clear their special mechanics.
Typically, though, they don't seem to have as much HP as other Mods, but the Chronoblight is a bit of an issue. He does seem to be quite tanky.
The Prowler is fine, since you can Toon Break it to knock it out of stealth, thus removing the res, but the Chronobirds must be Toon Rupture broken in order to remove their resistance.
And this is my personal take. There's obviously only 2 characters in the game that can do that. It's Lene and Imith. And I don't personally think that these guys are, like, tanky enough to, like, Like this, like they have like all attribute resistance. I don't know how much it is though. Is it like 40% or something like that? So yeah, unfortunately, you can only use like one team in the game basically to like reduce it, but it doesn't ever seem like that bad. It doesn't ever seem like this guy doesn't seem like he has an insane amount of HP.
At the very least, the Chronobirds do have their HP deflate.
So remember what I said before? Like, I didn't know the numbers, but I just knew they didn't feel that bad. Okay, so this just makes it basically the level of difficulty is just static with the other mobs. They get their HP basically fucking halved. And then they got their HP buffed in the most recent reset. You can kind of see what's going on over here. It's been consistent, right? They're like 60% of the HP of the other mobs. They probably got a similar amount of resistance. But then with HP inflation coming in, right? That's affecting everything. That's when these guys start getting a little bit cancerous. But I will say the Chronoblight didn't feel as bad. It's only because he has like 120k more HP. It's not that much.
Within the TOA to account for this extra res. Then, in my opinion, the reindeers, while still annoying, are much less so than the previous Chop Chops.
It depends. These guys can truly... I think Chop Chops are not as bad as these guys, because like these guys can truly like ungroup like no other.
New bosses also have their own gimmicks, but so far, such effects could rather be seen as a bonus for people who use the proper damage type or keyword against said boss. Okay, so the enemy selection has been less...
Vibration strength seems to be the main sort of shilling going on in End State Matrix. You've already seen it over here, and I'm like, bro, I don't give a shit about this. Okay, great. I can see him faster. This to me is like, okay, the enemy will be immobile faster. Slightly, yeah, that's slightly good, but it's not something that like dramatically changes your gameplay.
Or keyword against said boss. Okay, so the enemy selection has...
It's like, great, you'll get more uninterrupted time to beat his ass, but like, the point of this game is to be able to deal damage without the need for them to be broken, right? Being broken just gives you some time to like take a breather. But like if you're just not dealing damage unless they're broken, your shit is kind of cooked, isn't it?
Been less than stellar. But let's turn the clock back. As I hinted at the beginning of the video, a very similar case happened during resets 29 through 31, namely during versions 2.8 and 3.0.
Right, and this is where we were looking at the introduction of Tomb Break, right?
It's also kind of funny that Lampy showed up in different parts of the TOA for those 3 consecutive resets as well. Clement, I know what you're thinking, but don't you dare. But I digress.
I think the next floor 4 is gonna be the Lampy Lumen and the Astronaut. Imagine Lampy Lumen side 2 and Astronaut side 1. How much fun would you guys have with that?
And again, this was because tunability was being introduced into the game, along with who turned out to be the most versatile and busted sub-DPS in the game thus far in...
She wasn't that good in 3.0 though. This is the reality. Lene was not good in 3.0. She became good in like 3.1 onwards, but truly, when it was just her and not Mornier, I don't think she was that good.
Lene. At the time, Toon Rupture would automatically solve all HP inflation issues, so long as you were fighting a boss with a proper 1 Toon Break per full team rotation and didn't lock its tunability meter. The tower buffs that have been introduced as of...
When the bosses have their tunability meter blocked very consistently and very regularly, you don't get that damage. And so, there are some bosses that are never tune immune. Crownless, for example, can be tune broken even when he's not tune broken. Crownless activates attacks that let you Tomb Break him. Low-key, he might as well have less HP or he might as well have more HP because of that mechanic. You get a free Tomb Break against him. But there are simply too many bosses, I think, that have Tomb Break immune mechanics. And honestly, I'm kind of this take. Would they need to even adjust the HP if they just remove Tomb Break immunity? I'm just wondering. Like, is there even a need for these enemies to have Tomb Break immunity? Genuinely, why can't we break the Lampy Lumen during his triple jump? Why can't we do that? Doesn't that seem like an awesome time to save a Tomb Break for his big attack and like the point of the mechanic? To me, the Lampy Lumen being locked during his triple jump, that's the same sort of attack as Crownless when they're winding up and they let you Tomb Break them. It should be like Crownless where you get a Tomb Break prompt for free even if the meter isn't full if the boss does a cancerous attack like that. Yeah, the Crownless The crownless, like, cinema attack, straight up, is, like, the same level of annoyingness as the Lampy Lumen triple jump. Crownless lets you tomb break him for free and cancel it. Lampy locks his tomb break bar and then just fucking does it. And he's possibly worse when it comes to hit ability. You can actually hit Crownless more. I don't know. To me, it feels like the boss plus the HP inflation seems like the massive issue. And the thing is that, like, if the boss was simply more hittable, would people have as many issues with the inflation? But when you do both, you have the most inflation ever and also the most annoying boss ever. Something's got to give.
Late are also moving in a less player-friendly direction. The deeper hazard floors were introduced in Reset 27 in version 2.7, which had a modifier that shielded shielders, but also gave you a shield for casting your liberation. Well, such an interaction was removed in the next reset, and so went more to shield specific character kits rather than showcase player skill and understanding of those mechanics. Reset.
That was a little bit unfortunate, 100%. That was very unfortunate, 100%. But I think they also introduced, like, did they have flat buffs before? Let me see what the first buff was. This is what they did instead of this Kaiser. And I think you might not have noticed this. They removed this shielded buff over here and simply just gave people raw damage bonuses in the stage. Because I think this one was too hard for people to keep up. And so, in, like, future resets, right, they just give something like crit damage is increased by 35%. Do you see what's going on over here? This is a buff that's there, and you don't need to work to maintain it. The only way to get a buff on this stage that's general is to be a heavy attacker or dodge well. Like, you can't get a buff here. You get absolutely nothing from the stage unless you're dodging or you're a heavy attacker, right? But here, every unit gets 35% crit damage. And if you're echo skill damage dealer, you get a little bit of extra shielding, but everyone gets the 35%. Do you kind of like see what the difference is? And I'm personally of the opinion, I don't think that this is that bad to just give this raw buff, especially I guess if the concern or the complaint is this shit was too hard to maintain for most people. But that's kind of like how they're doing it now. They just give this flat damage buff.
Their skill and understanding of those mechanics. Reset 29 to Reset 30 was already harsh enough with the HP inflation, but also offered no bonuses unless you were using a team that could cast more than 3 unique echo skills or had the echo damage or negative status keywords.
You're able to get 3 of them, but that's pretty much it. Yeah, you could get 3 of them.
Reset 30 also removed a beefy 30% defense ignore modifier, which equates to an 18.2% damage increase in hazard floors 3 and 4.
And that's the general buff.
And followed that up with a 19% and 11.5 HP inflation, respectively. Wait, I missed talking about this in my Reset 30 HP audit. How? Oh, and then Reset 31 also had that mistake where one of the 3-cost mobs was mistakenly set to have nearly 1.5 million HP. Kuro!
Was it this guy? Wait, let me see over here. I think I remember this. Yeah, I think I remember this. This TOA was Gigabug. Yeah, Hazard 4 was too easy, and then this guy was, like, actually the tankiest motherfucker ever. Yeah, that happened one time. I think this is kind of like the issue over here. And we talked about this before. The beta testers kind of don't feel like sometimes it feels like they're not playing TOA. I think that's the thing. Sometimes it feels like the beta testers are actually not playing the resets. Because I don't know how shit like this makes it to live unless that's happening. There's been a lot of, like, game-breaking TOA bugs that, like, make no fucking sense at all, right? And there's, of course, the most recent TOA with the Lampy Lumen, and this doesn't feel play-tested. Do you know what I mean? Like, this feels like the most unplay-tested TOA floor ever, where it comes in with 44% HP inflation compared to the last 2 resets. It is one of the worst gameplay experiences ever that I think everyone unilaterally agrees on. I don't know anyone that approves of this or thinks it's good. It's hated by everyone. And so how does it make it to the live servers? And when it's so hated that Kuro literally makes a response, and unprecedented in the gacha space, according to the perversion preload, lowers HP as a result of the response, that is really bad, isn't it? Because just from the perspective of how did it make it to the live servers in the first place, and if it's so bad on the live servers that it's immediately corrected, you want to make sure something like that doesn't happen again, right? But that's only the most recent thing that occurred. Remember, guys, we're looking at the track record of failures when it comes to the TOA. So this isn't like the most recent, this is just the most recent thing that's happened. Just the most recent fuck up. Because there's been a lot of stuff back there. Remember, January 8th, 2026. Guys, that was at the start of this year. Guys, this was at the start of this year they fucked up this TOA.
One of the 3-cost mobs was mistakenly set to have nearly 1.5 million HP. Kuro!
And I think it's a testing issue. Because one playtest on this floor is all you need to say, oh, this doesn't feel very good.
Anyways, Reset 31, as the first TOA reset of 3.x, set the standard to have 15% all attribute resistance in Hazard Floors 3 and 4.
And this is where stuff has just been getting kind of annoying because this has made everything feel way more tanky to the point where it's like if you're not activating this buff, the floors don't feel very good.
Only clearable if you included a character with that specified keyword. And that brings us to where we are now.
It's not necessary to have that keyword, but that keyword allows teams that don't make very much sense to do very, very, very well. For example, right? Most people would say this team, Shorekeeper, Chuyan, Galbraina, right? With Chuyan's Echo Skill buffing, Galbraina's Echo Skill damage, Shorekeeper's general buffing, right? This is good, right? Not the best team ever, but it's good. But people would say the Chuyan version is probably better than the Linne version, right? Because Linne doesn't really buff Galbraina's damage type. But if the stage says, if you use Toon Rupture, by the way, the enemy's 15% all attribute resistance is removed, then this version becomes better than the Chuyan one. Because you're putting in Linne, who's got worse buffs than Chuyan, because they don't match up, but she removes the 15% all attribute resistance. And so that's actually better. And that's the kind of like team building orientation that ends up coming up. And Linne has been like the dispeller of the 15% all attribute resistance that makes the enemies giga tanky. Bro, she's been the dispeller for like 5 months. There's almost always a TOA floor that she can dispel.
So if we are to trust this HP increase trend to be happening again so soon...
This is the good news though, right? We probably don't need to get too depressed about this. Because our goal for today was to just set a baseline for how bad shit was. And you can clearly see it's gotten pretty bad over the course of time. But Kuro's, fortunately, right, according to those preloads, and that's why I'm talking about it, because this is a big, serious issue that's been going on for a while, right? It looks like they're toning it back. It looks like they're reeling it back in. And this is the part where I'm probably going to, like, pause the video a little bit because it doesn't really matter. Like, we've already kind of, like, seen the hand that Kuro's showing, right? With the fixes over here. Great job, Kaiser. When the gacha space is, like, this bad, where NTE is bombing, AKE is bombing, Genshin has one of the most disappointing looking patches ever. HSR is an afterthought. We honestly could view a lot of this HP inflation, increased predatoriness, all of this stuff, right, as them taking advantage of a market opportunity because every other gacha is so shit right now. So fucking shit right now. Because the reality is this. When every other game is bad, the market leader can kind of do whatever they want because it's not like their players are going to quit. Because where are they going to go? Are you going to go play NTE? No. Are you going to go play AKE? No. Are you going to go play 11 Deep Space? Hell no. The game's dead, right? Are you going to go play Genshin? No. Are you going to go play HSR? No. So if Kuro just keeps toning it up, making it worse and worse and worse, you're still not going to leave because all the other games suck ass. If you got nowhere better to go, you have to stay. It doesn't matter what the person running the house does at that point, right? You can't leave anyways. You could just quit, but that means you're just quitting gacha as a whole. That might be better for you. Maybe that's what they're asking. Maybe that's what they're trying to get you to do. Hey, Good Samaritans over at Kuro Games. But obviously, that reality, that future, right? The Suzu, all that fucking shit, right? That future has apparently not come to pass because Kuro's toning it back. And this is kind of like the best possible outcome. They tone it back, don't go too crazy, maybe milked it a little bit, right? Milked it a little bit because 2026 has been 6 years of, or 6 months of shit. Bro, have you been excited for any game other than Wuthering Waves in 2026? Just be honest with me. Like, have you been excited for AKE post its release? Were you excited for AKE 1.1 onward? Were you excited for NTE 1.1 and onward? No. After the releases of those games, it fizzled out and died, and you've just been waiting for Wu-Wah patches ever since, and GTA 6. That's it. And maybe ZZZ 3.0 if you're mentally retarded, right? Like those are the ones that you were like looking forward to. And so the kind of like end result is This response from Kuro, lowering the HP, do keep in mind that they could just change their mind, right? I'm not going to put all my eggs into this basket. They could always change their mind and just go full steam ahead, knowing what the gacha space is like right now. They could just go full steam ahead, right? Because we've seen the results, bro. Hoyoverse took some damage last month. We've seen the results. AKE and NT took some damage last month. While Wuwa is the only game that looks like it's growing. And guys, I'm of the personal mindset that maybe this is going to be like the trend down. We go back to being like stable, and then Meng Zhou feels like, you know, it's just like a good continuation. But if the games just keep getting worse, I don't know how long we're gonna have Wuwa, I guess, like in this spot. I feel like the response from the community has simply been massive in this respect, and that's why they're reacting so soon. But who knows when they're gonna actually start it up again? Because I don't have any confidence that shit is gonna be like stable until an actually good game releases. I am begging for a Wuthering Waves competitor. I am begging for a good open world sort of like game that's able to capture a similar sort of audience so that Kuro has, not necessarily just for the sake of competition, but like a guarantee or like some sort of market force that controls them from doing whatever the fuck they want. Because right now it feels like these devs can do whatever they want. And right now they're choosing not to milk us like cows. But I'd rather they don't have the option. Because they only have this option because all these games are so shit. Just don't give them the option. Just release a good game. Please be good, Rewinding Cadence. Please be good, Silver Palace. Please be good, Ananta. I'm like begging you, please actually be good games. Because I wanted Enfield to be good. I wanted NTE to be good. But they're not good. Because if they were good, Kuro probably wouldn't have done this in the first place. Because once the HP inflation got up, guys, in this game, after NTE bombed, we got HP inflation. After AKE bombed, we got HP inflation. I'm not even joking. Like, literally, you can time it up with the failures of those two games. We got HP inflation. Bro, if Silver Palace and Rewinding Cadence bomb, bro, they're gonna have 200% the next patch. You know that's a fact. We're gonna have, like, 200% inflation, bro. But that's just how it is, bro. Winner takes all, right? In this market, Kuro's fault for winning too much. Bro, just stop making shit games. Please just make your games good. It's actually the other devs' fault at this point. Let me know what you all thought. Peace out.